And we are live. Hey, Lori and Lynette. How's everyone doing? Let me know if you can hear me okay, because I'm trying a new microphone setup. I think it's okay. There's a little bar that's showing that my voice is being heard. Hey, Mooney. Okie dokie. So, assuming that the microphone is working, I am the Booktube Goddess, the #1 drag queen booktuber on YouTube. And we're doing a Get Ready With Me, and I am putting on makeup to do some videos later today. So, yes, you can hear me. Yay. Hey, Britta. Happy Saturday. Okay, good. Okay. Okay. I'm so paranoid now. Okay, so I'm going to try a different eye look today. I'm going to try, I know a lot of drag queens do their cut creases like all the way up. So I'm going to try that just for something different. But first we have to decide on colors, which of course I haven't decided on. So I'm thinking of doing 2 colors. And how about pink and blue? I don't think I've ever done that before. So let me get a brush. And we have Cappuccino doing some dishes. So that's very productive. Let's see. So the videos I think I'm going to do, I should put on some, let's wipe this off. I was going to do a video on novellas because I've read 2 that I've really liked. And you can probably guess it is Monk and Robot and The Wild Bill. What's it called? I forgot already. And Murderbot, because I don't think I've done a video on that. But it's mostly that I am kind of surprised and delighted that there are more novellas coming out. That I don't know if it's a new thing or not. Maybe I'm just being first aware of it. But I think I mentioned it last week, and I know Lynette and I talked about it, about the putting novellas up for sale and not letting people know, and marketing them like novels. So I don't know how I feel about that. But I kind of like how there is a resurgence, or not a resurgence, but a newfound appreciation for the short form of science fiction, because that's really how science fiction first got started. Oh, I should have laid down some white. This is going to be an interesting look. Okay, pink and blue, yes. Oh, there's a new Aristotle and Dante book. Yeah, I really like that book. It was a gay, I guess you could call it a love story, but it was more of a friendship story between two young men that I really appreciated. And it was very well written. And what I liked about it is the writing, the prose itself just seemed very simplistic, but it really drug out the emotions. Yay, pink and blue. Yeah, I'm curious of the title too. Yeah, if you haven't read Aristotle and Dante, and it takes place in the 80s, it doesn't mention AIDS at all. So I don't know if it was supposed to take place in the way early 80s or just ignoring that whole topic. Psalm of the Well Built, thank you. Yeah, Murderbot was good. Fave this year. Aristotle and Dante something something. Yeah, strongly suggest you pick that one out, Cap. Dive into the waters of the world. Hey, Fit. Glad you can join us. Okay, so let me put down some white because I am screwing up my order that I'm usually put on makeup. But I think we can deal with it. Have you guys read or seen Fit to Be Read's 150 top science fiction novels? It's like, whoa, that is very ambitious. Because here I was thinking about doing like a top 10. But you're putting us to shame with the top 150. Yeah, part of my problem is I don't remember all the books I've read. So I know it'd be hard for me to come up with the top 100 or 150. Okay, so looking forward to the top 150. Me too. Got blurbs for 120. Wow. I know, it's crazy. We're all watching you, Fit. Yeah, I believe he's ranking them. Well, how else can you rank them other than enjoyability by yourself? Okay. Now let's go back to the pink. It's kind of looking purple. I don't know why. Maybe I mixed it with the blue too much. Oh, I'm started and have read, maybe I'm halfway through the something Jake Livingston. The Anyway, it's the young adult horror book that I picked for Shelve It or Shove It. And I have to say, it is very well written. I mean, the prose is very sophisticated, I think, for young adult. It's very dark and moody, and it has a probably because I didn't research it that much before I started reading it, but it has a same-sex theme to it. The main character is gay, which of course I am always here for. I don't know if these colors actually go together that well. But there's no turning back. I want to say it's called The Haunting of Jake Miller, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Storygraph, I did a quick check on Storygraph, and I estimate I probably have read 40-ish, maybe 50-ish. Oh, I'm sure I've read hundreds, but the issue is I've just forgot them. Oh, Moon's leaving. Okay, well, at least you got the dishes done. Oh, thank you. Okay. Started with fantasy and later came to sci-fi. Well, when I started reading, of course, I'm showing my age, but when I started reading speculative fiction, there really wasn't that much fantasy out. We're talking back in the 70s. There was a lot of science fiction, but not much fantasy. And it was weird because maybe this was just my perception, but it felt as though women wrote fantasy and men wrote science fiction. Because there was a lot of the fantasy that was out there. There was a lot more women fantasy authors and male science fiction authors. So it was almost like the genres were split between genders. And I think I talked about it in my one of my box openings, but the change was back into fantasy was Terry Brooks's Sword of Shannara. Followed by Lord Fowl's Bane by Stephen Donaldson. I think I'm the only one that likes Lord Fowl's Bane. But by today's standards, it's well, even by, when was it published in the 70s? I think even by their standards, the subject matter was pretty risque, because the main character sexually assaults. I'm laughing because it sounds ridiculous now. A young woman, and this is our hero. So, but he has to deal with the consequences of that throughout the trilogy. Oh, you like the ombre effect. Yay. Some, mostly all sci-fi, but definitely observing for fantasy. Yeah, I don't know when I switched to fantasy. I think I switched harder like late 80s, early 90s. Ooh, 4.5 out of 5 for Gullum and Genie. It's a good recommendation. Oh, I didn't do the bottom. Let's see. Let's try to... Oh, I don't know what I'm doing now. So, Lynette, the Gullum and the Genie, is that sort of a... Because I know a Gullum is sort of a Hebrew mythical creature, Hebrew fantasy creature, and the genie is, of course, Middle Eastern. But I wonder, when I first saw it, just by the title, actually I haven't even looked up the blurb, but just by the title, I was wondering if it was dealt with two cultures. Okay. Catalog of shipwrecked books, 4 to 5. I want to restart Gullum and the Genie soon. I just got a used hardback. Started it and approaching halfway through, but then got busy and distracted. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Then you forget about what's happened so far. I like the Gullum I like that the Gullum was female and the Genie was male. Quite unusual. Oh, interesting. Set in New York and deals with, okay, yeah, that's what I kind of was hoping for the title, Jewish and Syrian cultures. Has a lot of Jewish and Syrian Arab mythology in it, and the Jewish and Syrian immigrant communities going back to the 1890s in New York. That is very cool. Has anyone read that sequel? I think it's a sequel to it. Or it might just be a new book by the same author. Okay, what am I doing? I'm just going to cut this crease, see how it goes. Oh yeah, going back to science fiction versus fantasy. I guess I started with Edgar Rice Burroughs in science fiction. I mean, I did read Lord of the Rings, but like I said, there wasn't that much fantasy out there at the time. So I was really into Edgar Rice Burroughs, which is kind of funny because his books are written in what, way back in the 30s or 40s. But I think at the time there was sort of a resurgence in Burroughs or interest in his books. Because they were released with these gorgeous covers. And it just never occurred to me that the books I were reading were really old. Um, but then I got into Heinlein, I think, because of his juvenile books were in my middle school library. And then from Heinlein, it was like Larry Niven, Frederick Pohl, Jack Chalker. No one really talks about Jack Chalker. I loved his books, though. Oh, one fantasy author that was back in the day was Piers Anthony. But I started with him on his science fiction books because he started with science fiction before he went to fantasy. Because he wrote some very trippy books back then. Chthon or something. But then his fantasy series, Xanth, I liked that, but I liked even more, what was it called? The Blue Adept series? Which may be a science fiction fantasy mashup. I don't quite remember. Trying to think of more of those old sci-fi authors I read back then. Frederick Pohl, did I mention him? David Brin, but I think Brin was actually a little later. Hal Clement, Clifford D. Simic. Actually, was it Simic? I think it was Simic, wrote this book that kind of reminded me of The Wild Bill, the Song for the Wild Bill. Not so much as a plot, but just sort of being science fiction philosophy. I think it was called Shakespeare's Planet, which was, yeah, a lot of philosophy and conversations. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about, the big white. Let me try to set this. Let's set it with white. If I can find a brush. Hidden Palace is a sequel to Gollum and the Genie. Another novella I recommend is The Tiny Wife. Haven't heard of it. Who wrote it? You added catalog of shipwrecked books. 13 people are held up in a bank and have to give up the most treasure item they are carrying, and afterwards strange things start happening to them. Huh. That sounds interesting. That sounds like a Twilight Zone episode. Okay, there's only two he's really known for. One is the Red Depth series, and the other is Xanth, Xanth. And those became really popular, and they're kind of humorous because they're all based on puns, like a butterfly. I mean, this sounds very Alice in Wonderland, is made out of butter, that type of thing. But they were so popular that he started writing tons of them. I've read, I don't know, maybe a third or half of the Xanth books, but they're just so many, you just overdose on them. I heard he's also problematic now, which I can't keep up with that crap. Oh yeah, Asimov. Oh, Farmer, yes. Windham. Philip K. Dick, Brian Aldiss. Yeah, all those. It came to sci-fi via feminists. Oh, Joanne Russell. Yeah, her Female Man. I have it recommended for, was it a gay Pride Month or something? Highly recommend Female Man. Or Joan Russell. I think you mean Joanna Russ. That's who I'm thinking of. It was Xanth, yeah. Okay, let's set this. Boy, these eyes are way uneven. Oh well. Okay. Let's move on to eyeliner. Andrew Kaufman. I don't know that person. But the other book I wanted to bring up in my video on novellas is Dangerous Visions, and again, Dangerous Visions by Robert Heinlein. Not by Robert Heinlein. What am I saying? Edited by Harlan Ellison. Because that is an anthology, or those two volumes are anthologies of short form science fiction. And in fact, Ursula K. Le Guin's A Word for World is Forest. That was first published in one of the volumes, which is considered one of her best works. And there's even a story by Kurt Vonnegut. It kind of used to really annoy me that Kurt Vonnegut isn't considered by some people a science fiction author, but I think he considers himself a science fiction author. But what annoyed me about that is sort of the inference that he was too good of an author to be a science fiction author. As though there is not some great writing in the science fiction genre. Kind of painting myself into a corner here. Okay. Yes, Joanna Russ, female man. Earliest female sci-fi was, James Tiptree, of course. A lot of sci-fi. Yeah, I used to get some of those sci-fi magazines. I think I subscribed to Asimov's, Fantasy and Science Fiction. I think those were the two. And I also subscribed to Omni for a while, which only had like two fiction stories in it, but it was like a big deal at the time. Cat's Cradle, Sirens of Titan. Those are definitively science fiction. Forrest is brilliant. I just reread the Hanish Cycle. Genre fiction can be literary. Exactly. If you read The Expanse, I love The Expanse. The Expanse is not literary science fiction, but it is great fun, for sure. I was going to say something. Must have been a lie. So my stepmother used to say, if you forget what you're saying, you would say, oh, it must have been a lie. I think of literary as more of a writing style, an approach. Yeah, sometimes literary, sometimes it's just beautiful prose. Yeah, actually it's Amazon Prime, but yeah, I like the series too. Sometimes literary fiction, like I think the most well-known literary sci-fi author, other than Vonnegut, is probably Gene Wolfe. And it's very atmospheric and character driven. And it's hard to put your finger on as why that's considered literary and others are not. But for me, Gene Wolfe, his writing is very almost dreamlike and really makes you think. He also wrote some fantasy. But if you haven't read, I think it's the Long Sun series. It's my favorite. He's also known for, Shadow and Claw, but it's like the main character is an executioner. Which is very interesting. I don't know if I like the cut crease like this. Let me know what you think. I think it needs more black. Actually, maybe I do like it. I like it better in the monitor than I do the up close. Hey, let's catch up. Le Guin writes better than many of the so-called. Yeah, agree. Fantasy when I was young. Mythaga Wood. Oh, that. The name Mythaga sounds really familiar to me, but yeah, it's not clicking beyond the name Mythaga. Oh, right. Second book of Caliban's War has excellent representation of feminism. I love that foul-mouthed ambassador, not ambassador, UN general, whatever her title is. Yeah, I think Lynette has a super long TBR. Oh, thank you, Cap. Okay, let's... set this black. I'm really on the cusp of needing to buy new eyeshadow because I'm almost out of this black. But I want to get something called Sugar Pill for their white and black, but one or the other is always sold out. Yeah, the other video I want to film is another reaction to a booktuber because I've been wanting to do Mike's Read or whatever his channel is, Mike's Reading World. And if you haven't subscribed to him, Fit, you might want to give him a try because, well, he does do a lot of fantasy. Actually, scratch that. Now that I think about it, he does more fantasy than sci-fi. But we have a lot of the same tastes, I feel like, in books. Oh, hey, KD. Expanse books are hard to put down. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're pretty hefty books, but I find I read them very fast because of the pacing. Surprisingly, yes. In my opinion, I think the series there's some things they can't really follow, like the Belters are since they grow up in zero G are in the books physically very different than the people born in Gravity. But little things like that, they it would be hard to do on film. But plot wise, I think they're very good at following the books, especially since they have 10 episodes per season, and they're devoting. I don't know if this is true or not. It feels like they're devoting one season per book. So they have 10 episodes to develop one season. I don't know if they're overlapping or whatever, but it feels as though they're doing one season per book. So let's just say it follows it as well as the Game of Thrones series, at least at the beginning. Once Game of Thrones got further than George R.R. Martin had written books, you've seen if you've seen the series, you know. Read an elderly lady. Oh yeah, I saw that mod. Yeah, Seikevi, the other drag queen booktuber, who's really into mysteries, was reviewing that book about a old lady psychopath called Maud. A friend of mine just read Thursday Murder Club with a group of elderly women friends solving the crime. That sounds good. Sort of like a group of Miss Marples. Okay, Bretta. I hope it doesn't disappoint. The series takes some liberties beyond the books, but the novel authors are in the show. Okay, yeah. And I think George Martin was one of the, what would you call it, the show writer? So had some influence on the plot. And it's funny because The Expanse started on the Sci-Fi Channel and it was dropped because I guess didn't have the viewerships or whatever. But I've read somewhere that Amazon picked it up because I don't know if it was Bezos or someone in charge was just such a fan of The Expanse, they just wanted it to continue. So it's just, rather than getting it for ratings, they got it just because they love the story, which is kind of neat. Oh, I'm making a big mess in the under eye. And of course, I forgot to wipe off bake. Okay. Oh, you're kidding me, Fit. You haven't watched The Expanse? I think you'd like it. Sci-fi drops all their good shows. Yeah. There's another one I was watching. I mean, it wasn't great, but oh my God, I forgot what it was called. But yeah, they dropped it. Kevin and the Bookish Drummer are really making me add so many books to your TBR. Well, that's what happens when you follow booktubers. The show is heavy on exposition, world building in the beginning. Yeah. Billy Summers. I haven't heard too much about that. Is that the one where it has like a really retro cover? Because I was tempted to get that book. Attention to details is the key. Everything's presented is important eventually. Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, I hate doing this. I just stuck myself in the eye. Hmm. Okay, I'm going to see if I can fix this with some white. The retro cover one is later. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it. The last one I heard about was later. Yeah, one of the reasons why I got the Jake Livingston book is I just wanted to read some horror. I haven't really read a good one for a while. And if you like horror, the Jake Livingston book, and you don't mind young adult, I think it could have been an adult book, really. Except the main character is young. But I mean, Stephen King has young characters in his book. Like Carrie was what, 16? That's not considered young adult. And what Firestarter could be, oops, could be considered a middle grade because the main character is what, very young. I think I'm going to try to smoke out this bottom lash or this bottom eye makeup because it's looking a little janky. Okay, so that's where we are with. I think I may have overdid it with with this white cut crease. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's awfully big. Let me put on some blush. And I keep trying to go light on the contour, but a lot of times it seems to have a mind of its own. Okay. Okay, Billy Summers is about a hitman who only kills bad people, like Dexter. He's planning to do his last hit and then retire. I've seen a couple movies like that. It doesn't sound like a Stephen King I would like very much because I like more of his supernatural books. One Last Job never goes as intended, of course. Oh, thank you. Eyes are hypnotizing. I think King has only ever written one middle grade book, The Eyes of the Dragon. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, wow, I forgot about that. Oh, you read the Old Lady Psychopath, Lori? Thank you. I guess let's go ahead and do the lips. I got some new lipstick because once again, whenever I see a big sale, and I didn't like the bullet lipsticks I got, but Gerard Cosmetics had a sale for the liquid lipsticks that I like. So I got a bunch of those. I think I'm the only drag queen that has trouble drawing their lips. You'd think it's the easy part. Okay. Whew. What time is it? I swear to God, I'm getting faster and faster at this. Cap, I am halfway through Tiger Flu. Oh, yeah, I remember you mentioning that. A little too early for me to read a book about a contagion. Feminist overtones, genetically engineered women who naturally reproduce clones through parthenogenesis. Speaking of Female Man by Joanna Russ, the Utopia, that's how they reproduce. The End of Men. Yikes. Low tech, biotech, and very advanced tech. Huh, maybe I will check it out. I am reading Teeth, which is about how America's poor have virtually no access to dental care. That's true. All health care in the United States doesn't include dental. You have to have separate dental insurance. I get my teeth done for $45 an appointment. Oh, that's a good deal. Good deal. So I guess I'm going to do a pink lipstick. I got this one called Ruby Slipper because I thought it was like red with glitter, but it's so dark. Look how dark this is. I don't think it'll go with this look. Just think I want a pink, since there's pink in the eye. Actually, the pink has sort of faded. No, maybe that's just me. They look all right. Looks kind of sheer on close up. I'll let it dry down and do a different coat. Okay, so let's do some lashes. These lashes are getting a little crusty. All right, let's just do a fresh pair of lashes. The only thing is, I like to cut the lashes down, but I don't have any scissors around. So if I place them, yeah, I know what to do. Yeah, I think the lashes make a big difference of sort of toning down the this huge cut crease. Oh, this one's too. See, that's why I cut them, because they come so. Try to reposition this. That's better. Ah, this is fun to watch. Okay. Oh, they don't look even. There. Wisdom teeth. I had my wisdom teeth removed when I was, I don't know, 16, 17, but they were growing like this. Instead of growing down, they were growing like this. And there was some complication in the surgery where I was like in there for like, it's supposed to be a couple-hour surgery, and I was in there for like, I don't know, like 5 hours or 6 hours. And I still can't open, I have like a lot of scar tissue back here, so I can't really open my mouth up that wide, which drives Dennis batty. Yeah. I think also part of my issue, since I mixed race, I have this little Japanese mouth, and I have these big Caucasian teeth, which I've had braces throughout my life, teeth extracted. Not fun. Oh, thank you. The new eye look. Let's go ahead and throw on a wig while we're here, because I don't think I'm going to do anything more. I got a purple wig, which probably doesn't match this. Outfit. Yeah, purple doesn't really match, but it's in the blue family. And I got these earrings, which are super cheap. Oops. Okay. Stay on earrings. Let's see, what time is it? It is. Oh no, it's been over an hour. Thought I was doing this in under an hour. Nope. Oh, don't forget to like this video. I always forget to say that. Okay, let's catch up here. Yay. I don't know what you're talking about. I remember reading Jaws, a Peter Benchley book, when I was very, very young. And I read it like in the supermarket. Like in the supermarket, they have like, I think back then it was like a carousel of popular books, and I would like read it in the store. Don't think I finished it, but I just thought I think you could, if you're real careful with them and don't use like the weave bond glue I used, but Duo. There's actually a drag queen, Wigs by Vanity, who has a super good tutorial for putting on eyelashes. But you can reuse them as, many times before they get too gunky and stuff. Some people like using them after a couple of uses because it sort of builds up a base and molds to your eye. But yeah, you can get like 5, 6, maybe more uses out of if you take care of them. Finishing brings everything together, doesn't it always? Many people use them several times. I have one friend that got 10, clean and store them. Because like I said, once they mold to your eyes, they sort of hold that shape. Hey, Kelly. How long? Okay, well, we're here on these live streams. Since I'm talking and like reading comments and stuff, it takes longer. But let's say for when I start the video without the comments, maybe an hour. But I always put on my base beforehand, which means gluing down my eyebrows. And that usually takes an hour. So 2 hours to 3 hours, which is crazy, but we are pounding on the clown makeup. Okay, oh, thank you. Can never say no to a purple wig. This is true. I am so tempted to buy a new wig because the guy I buy wigs from is a retired theatrical wig designer. He's Hawaiian and he lives in Hawaii. His name is Friston. But I really can't justify the expense. Thank you. Thank you. They still have some books in supermarkets where I shop. Yeah, now you see them in like a magazine stand where they have magazines. Sometimes they have books. But I remember those carousel of books. There used to be in like grocery stores and pharmacies. Oh, okay. So not the Peter Benchley book. Kelly, I love your look. You and Kevy. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Kevy is a much better artist, makeup artist than I am, but she's had, I think, a bit longer, or has done more practice than I ever have. So, but yeah, this look is with the cut crease that goes all the way up, and I kind of like it. I don't know if you can. Of course, I wear these hard front wigs with bangs, so it's hard to see the full eye makeup. But yeah, I think maybe I'll try this again next week because I do kind of like it. Okay, guys, I have to go film some videos. Thank you once again for joining me on this Get Ready With Me, talking about makeup and books and whatever we want to talk about, our jaws and wisdom teeth, apparently. So I'm going to sign off for now. And once again, thank you for watching. And until we meet again, may all the books you read be blessed.